Hello there guys, what is going on? Son Chelsea back here again for another edition of my team selector ahead of Chelsea's game against Nottingham Forest in the FA Cup third round on Sunday at Stamford Bridge. This is always an interesting game. We've had that hectic festive period now over, so it's sort of that gap. I always consider it like the halfway point of the season, so your focus turns away from the league to the cup, and Chelsea have a really good record in the FA Cup. I think it's a competition Chelsea can do well in, potentially win some silverware this year, which I think would be massive for the squad and for Lampard as well. But I still think, even though there is maybe a little less attention on this game, or you sort of take it for granted, I think it is vitally important for Chelsea, not only because of the competition, but also being at home, our poor home form recently. I think Chelsea need to get some confidence before going into that game against Burnley in the league, because I think it is vitally important. Chelsea need to score some goals. Chelsea need to look better attacking. We need to look more creative, more fluid, more expressive. I think quicker in our play, and I think all of that can come into play on Sunday, even if it is a different formation and a different lineup to the game against Brighton. I think there are some players who have been on the fringes recently, lacking confidence, and can come in here and probably get some confidence before we go back into the league. So going into this, Willy Caballero in goal. I think this is definitely a game for him, isn't it? And I think definitely Kepa going out the team. He's played for so long now. And it's just one of those games where usually you rotate your keeper. I'd be shocked if Kepa plays. And the back four, I think Lamptey can come in here. Of course, he impressed so much against Arsenal. And Reece James did get minutes against Brighton. So I think there was that concern by me of thinking, who would play in this game. And I definitely think because Reece James did play a full 90 against Brighton, I think Lamptey, this is a perfect opportunity to give him a start. Tomori and Christensen, I think, will be the back two. Neither played in midweek. Tomori, I don't even think was in the squad against Brighton. So naturally, I think this is the back two. Mark Guehi, of course, played some League Cup games earlier in the year. But I just think both of these players, Tomori and Christensen, haven't been playing consistently, especially Christensen. So I think both of those will come in, and I think that can be a decent back two for this game. And I think Emerson will be the left back. He didn't play on Wednesday, and Marcus Alonso is out. So I think Emerson will start here. Midfield three, Billy Gilmour is apparently ill. But I'd like to see him start. Apparently, he will be okay. He has been training recently. It's tough to know because, of course, players can sort of go into fitness quite quickly. We were told Reece James wasn't going to be ready for the Brighton game, and then he was starting the game. But this is a perfect opportunity, once again, to give Billy Gilmour minutes. I really do. And I think, of course, Jorginho, of course, could play here. Kante could play here. But both of those players have played a lot of minutes. And I think Gilmour, it's a perfect opportunity to give him some more minutes in the Chelsea first team. Ross Barkley, I think, naturally will play here. He hasn't played for so long, but he's just naturally one of those fringe players who's been on the bench recently, an unused sub that I think is just perfect to give minutes here, and hopefully for his sake can give him some confidence as well. Also, I think Mateo Kovacic will start because he didn't start against Brighton, came off the bench. I think one of those first team players that can feature just because of recently the amount of minutes he's played. Going into the front three, I think Christian Pulisic will start. I got really frustrated he got taken off so early against Brighton when he was really coming into the game, and I think this is a game he can really express himself and hopefully get back into scoring ways, because he was so good in earlier parts of the season. So let's hope he can regain some confidence. And on the other wing, another young winger who I think needs a good performance is Callum Hudson-ODOI. I think this is a big game for Callum if he starts. He's had so much criticism recently, and I'm sure for his sake, he wants to get back into the goals, get back into performing well, and get back into the first team for Chelsea, because it is that difficult position at the moment where Willian's very much holding down a place, and I think definitely he's guaranteed a rest in this game. So I think it's on both Callum Hudson-ODOI and Christian Pulisic to make a mark in this game. And I think for Callum's sake, I think what a great opportunity to regain some confidence within this game. And I think up front, I'm going to go Michy Batshuayi because, he's naturally always on the bench, will most likely come off the bench for Frank. So I think he'll start here, and I think pretty much will guarantee that most likely Olivier Giroud will be departing from Chelsea, which is a bit sad, but I think we've known that for a couple of months now. I'd be really shocked if Giroud does start here. I think Tammy could get a rest altogether here because he's played so often, played so regularly, and Giroud's a good player to have off the bench, but I think probably Michy will start here. So that is my team selector ahead of the game against Forest on Sunday. Let me know your lineups in the comments below. One thing about the game, I'm excited to see that brilliant night kit they've released recently that I may have to pick up, and hopefully if Chelsea progress in this, they'll start wearing that, I think, for all the competition, hopefully, if Chelsea do well in it. But those are my thoughts. Thank you so much for taking the time to watch this video. If you did enjoy it, hit that subscribe button and the notification bell to never miss an upload. Follow me on Twitter @SonOfChelsea, and I'll see you again.